going down YouTube? It's your boy Danny G, SFG TV. Just want to recap the Warriors series in round one against the LA Clippers real quickly, as well as preview their upcoming series against the Houston Rockets, which actually starts in about a half hour from when this video will be uploaded. Game one today, so looking forward to that. But now this Clippers series, before I get into this actual series, I want to actually get into the very last game at Oracle Arena in the regular season, the very last regular season game at Oracle Arena that was played against, well, these same Los Angeles Clippers. Now, the story of that game is, of course, the fact that they wore their throwback We Believe jerseys from the 2007 playoff run. And, of course, those were the jerseys from 97 all the way up to 2010 until they got their current jerseys from now. And, of course, the true diehard Warrior fans like me, those jerseys have a special place in our hearts. As now, being a 10-year-old kid in 2007, that series was incredible. Seeing the Warriors as the 8 seed knock off the number 1 seeded Mavericks, I mean, that was just seeing how loud and electric it was at Oracle for a team that was a little bit good that year, but throughout the last 12 years had not done anything, was miraculous to see. And it's what got me into really being the sports fan that I am today. And also in the last game at Oracle, Steph Curry wore a Monta Ellis jersey on his way to the locker room before practice. And of course he did the same thing. He wore a Baron Davis jersey. A few games before that, he wore some throwback jerseys from the 90s and stuff. I think he wore a Chris Mullin jersey. Sorry. But just seeing Steph wear that Monte jersey was another special moment, because before Steph was drafted, and when Steph was drafted, his first few years, Monta Ellis was kind of the leader of this team. You know, he was a stud. He would make clutch shots. He'd hit buzzer beaters occasionally. He was the man. And when Steph was drafted in 2009, it looked like it was going to be two of the best backcourts in the NBA, or one of the best backcourts in the NBA, I should say. But Monta Ellis made some statement saying that he didn't feel comfortable playing with Steph, because it was his team and all that, But seeing, Steph honor his legacy and seeing Monta Ellis post on Instagram, talking about how he appreciated the love was a really special thing to see, because, you haven't heard really much from Monta Ellis. It was awesome to hear what his take was on the Warriors winning all those championships since he left. And, of course, his trade, caused Joe Lacob to be booed when he addressed the fans when Chris Mullin's jersey was retired. And so, yeah, it's incredible how far they've come. And, of course, that 2007 We Believe series before that, Monta Ellis played on the team then. Baron Davis, Jason Richardson, Matt Barnes, who later came back, Al Harrington, Steven Jackson, Andres Beatrice, you name it. That team was solid to watch. They ended up losing to the Jazz in round 2, but Baron Davis had a monster dunk on Andrei Kirilenko. So just great times and great memories, and it was great to see the Warriors, the current Warriors, honor those Warriors on the last game played at Oracle in the regular season, of course, because they, again, played those same Clippers in the playoffs in round 1, won the series in 6, but, the series did not go all how the Warriors probably were hoping it would, as they won Game 1 in pretty dominant fashion, but Game 2, it just had a rocky start with DeMarcus Cousins, that injury, and, oh, man, you gotta feel bad for the guy, because this is a guy that was injured. He got injured when he played for the New Orleans Pelicans, and then, of course, the Warriors signed him, but they knew he was not going to probably play for the first half of the season, which he did not. He made his debut here in February. And, seeing a player get injured like that, after all they've been through, after all they battled, to bounce back is just a really sad thing to see. And DeMarcus Cousins, could not be a nicer guy and could not be, a more tough player. And, he was a great addition to the team, and it's really sad that he's not going to be back for the remainder of these playoffs. And I hope to see, it's not the last we see of DeMarcus Cousins in a Warriors uniform, but that game, they ended up blowing a 31-point lead in the fourth quarter and losing. And it just showed that this team is still human and this team will make plenty of mistakes to still lose games. This regular season, there were a lot of, questionable games they lost, a lot of, they would get blown out in some games, and you'd just be like, what the fuck is this? Like, really? This is the Warriors? And, what they did is they just got too comfortable in that game, basically. They got just way too comfortable playing, at home against a team, arguably not nearly as good, although they do have some good talent. Don't get me wrong, the Clippers, with Lou Williams, Gallinari, they have some talent. And they definitely show that they're able to be on the same court as the Warriors, coming up with that Game 2 victory. And, of course, the Warriors won Game 3 and 4 in L.A. They actually looked like they were more motivated to win in L.A. than they were at home. And then Game 5, it was, a down-to-the-wire game, back-and-forth game, but the Clippers kind of also dominated that game at the same time because they were ahead for most of the game, and they looked like they were not going to let the Warriors come back, which they did not. They got that win, and they sent the series back in L.A., which ended up giving the Warriors a lot less rest for this upcoming Houston series. And, that's the key part also, being able to be rested, being able to be ready to play. And I'll tell you what, if the Warriors, they obviously have to know this, but, they cannot be too cocky, they cannot be too comfortable because they're at home. And, because last year in the Western Conference Finals, the Rockets took the Dubs to 7 games and downright nearly won that series and knocked them off. They were up 3-2, and they stuck in with the Warriors. They did not let them just dominate them. And here we are again. And although except this year, instead of in the Western Conference Finals, we're only in the Western Conference semifinals. So the Rockets are going to be hungry and motivated to knock off the Warriors. So, Steve Kerr, I hope he knows what he's doing, getting his team motivated. He's a phenomenal motivator, phenomenal coach. I know that, listening to his press conferences also after the 2 losses, he pretty much just summed it up. They didn't show up to play. And they need to show up to play, obviously, against the Rockets, or else the Rockets will win the series and knock them off. That's just how it's going to happen. They're looking for their 3rd straight title, and, they're looking to re-sign KD next year. And by the way, I'm going to point out that regardless of if they win the series or not, I still see KD returning back to the Dubs because I just do not see him leaving a team this good to go to the Knicks or whatever. He might want an opportunity to play in a big city, like New York, bright lights, big city, have all the spotlight on him. I get that, and I could see him maybe playing there like in the future, but come next year, no way. I just don't see it happening. If anything, if they win the title or if they lose the title, most people do not think this way, but I think them not winning the title gives more of a chance of him staying if they win it. Now, I think he'll stay either way, but that's just how I see it. I see him, wanting to be wanting to win a championship more next year if he doesn't win one this year than wanting to win another championship, a 4th straight one. I could see him more trying to go to a team not as good, possibly. Not saying it's going to happen, but I could more than likely see a possibility of him going to a team not as good to try to get them to, at least back into the playoffs or, up there. Who knows? But I do not see KD leaving. That's a whole different story, though. Regardless, the Warriors need to, come out strong in Game 1, and they at least need to win all the games at home if they're going to win this series. Bottom line. Houston this is not going to be a cakewalk. I see this series at least going to 6 games. I would be surprised if the Warriors won it in 5 or swept. I would be really surprised. Houston's a great team. They got James Harden, who won MVP. They got Chris Paul. They got Eric Gordon. They got PJ Tucker, who was phenomenal in last year's series. And they've got Iman Shumpert, who definitely has experience playing for the Warriors, or playing against the Warriors, in the NBA Finals with the Cavs. So, this Houston team knows the Warriors pretty well. And so this is not going to be no cakewalk. This is not going to be no easy series. The Warriors need to play with their toughness and their focus if they want to compete for that third straight title. But I think they will. I think they still got this series, but it's not going to be easy. That's all I got, guys. Danny G is out. Peace. Let's go Dubs.